Hi everybody, here Nigel back here with you, and this is a follow-up video for Peter again, Peter Violet. Peter has done a video in response to mine, and he's very confused about what's going on. So rather than try and exchange emails, I thought I'd just do another video, and then if you other guys are having the same issues as he's having, then hopefully I can help you explain that as well. So we've got the Scar of the Titanic photo etch, and we want to make sure all our portholes are in the correct positions. Ignore these cutouts that I've got in here. Okay, they're what I've already done. And please, if you can, ignore all the drill portholes. Imagine this is a hull with all the holes, all the portholes moulded in like they are, like 0.5 millimetre deep, as they are from the kit box. And what we're going to try and do is correct the positions. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get a reference so that we know where we are with these frames that I was talking about with the 36-inch spacing. So the first thing to do is fit this photo etch to your hull so you know it's in exactly the right position. I work from, on this piece here, on this forward end, there's a little step in the panel there, and I work from that edge, because if you get that butted up onto the piece of framework on the hull and get those 5 holes there lined up, then the rest of it all comes out right. So you put that one on first, and then you put the next one onto it and the next one onto it, and you end up with all your photo etch sitting on the side of the hull all lined up. Get it clamped in place, taped in place or whatever, and all you're doing this for is to get your positions. Okay, so you know you've got your positions correct. If you look on here, forget my rule, you can see that where we've got portholes already in a line, they all line up. We've got porthole, forget the B deck, it's only C downward that matters. So we've got them all lined up beautifully like that. Okay, so that's what we want to achieve. Same here, we've got them all lined up just like that in straight lines. The way Trumpeter have moulded it, they're all over the place, so the ship wasn't built like that. You've got frames in behind here 36 inches apart. The portholes have to fall between them. You won't have a porthole where there's a frame. Okay, so that's that bit taken care of. Now you need to download the plan on Google, which will show you the porthole positions and the sizes. It's like a grey picture with all these different colour portholes on it, and then there's a chart that gives you the actual references to the actual hole sizes. So you go from there, and now you know what size your porthole is going to be, and you know roughly where it's going to be. So I find a point of reference, like say a door, like we've got a door here. Okay, and then you look on the map, it'll show you the door, and you can go from there. So behind that door there's a smaller porthole there. Okay, and then we've got, there's one there, miss one, there's one there, miss one, there's one there, miss one, another one, miss one, another one, miss one, and we're going to go like that. Now if you pick up your other bits of photo etch that are from the midships area, like this one here is, this has got that same 36-inch spacing, and that's all we're interested in. Forget which deck it is, forget the hole size, forget the shape of the porthole, forget everything else other than the fact that you have got a piece of metal with a load of holes in it. Okay, so if you know, looking along here, if you know you've got to miss 2 and drill 1, miss 1, drill 1, miss 1, drill 1, then that's all you're going to do. You're going to use this and find an area where they've missed 2. So on this panel here, we can see that we've got 2 together there. We've got 2 here that have missed 1, so there's 1 hole missing there, so that's a missed 1, and this is a missed 2. You can see the rivets. So you've got, there's a hole, missed, missed, hole. So if I know that I'm going to come along here and I've got 1 and I'm going to miss 2 and then drill another one, I can put that over there like that. Okay, with these holes in the upper decks lined up. Okay, and I can make a line there and there. So now I know I'm going to have a porthole there, I'm going to have a porthole there. The other thing you can do, like you see I've done here, just for a sanity check, every sort of few inches, come along with your rule where you've got portholes all lining up. Remember, we've got no holes in here at all. This is just grey plastic, and then just draw a line vertically, and then you know that if you start to get a line, if you get down to here and you're marking a porthole and it's not on that line, you know you've gone out somewhere. So if you mark a line every sort of 4 inches, and then you work between the lines where you're working from the front back, say, if you've, I mean, I'll show you. What I'll do is I'll come along here. So we've got those two marked in there. Now I know I need to miss one for 4. So I've got that one there. All right, so I'm going to line these, forget these holes in here. These holes in this plastic don't exist. I'm going to line this up here. Okay, so that's lined up there. So I've got these holes here are lined up, so I know my spacing is correct. So I've got 2, 3, 4. So there's those 4. Now the next one along is not miss one. So I'm going to put that one there, underneath that one, and then put that one there. So I'm going to draw one there. Now I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes at a missed one. So come along here, line that up. Line these holes up here. Okay, so we've got a lot of blank areas there, so it's difficult to line up. But you can see I've got these holes lined up here. Okay, so hang on, I've gone wrong there. You just keep moving it, just keep moving it until you find an area that lines up. Okay, so we're lining up here now, so we know we're okay. All right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. I've got my 5 holes there, and then we've got 3 together. Now on here we've got 3 together, and we've got 3 together. So I'm just going to line that up with those there. 2, 3, like that. All right. So you're using this as a reference to keep everything lined up. I mean, you can turn it upside down if you want to, but all you're doing is making a mark. Don't drill any holes. Okay, do not drill any holes, because if you get down to here, so we've got these 2 together. Okay, so I've got a line there and I've got this line I've drawn here. If now when I came to here I found that that line didn't line up with this one, then I know that this one is wrong. So somewhere in here I've gone wrong. All right, the same here. If I move along here and I find that when I get to here, if say I do a porthole there, okay, and I know that, look, see, it doesn't line up. All right, so this line here is forming a vertical line through those portholes, and I'm going to drill another porthole here. If I do, it's going to be out of line, because that line there, look, is there. So that porthole should be here, not there. So I know then that I've gone wrong in between here and here. All right, if I put this on here, you will see that those lines line up on there. So it's slightly out, but you can see that those lines line up with those holes. So everything I do in between there should line up with those holes. And if I've got one which is 3 away or 2 away, okay, when I line that up there, that should line up with that line. All right. Now I'm just going to cover that again to make sure you understand. Vertical lines through the centres of these portholes, every sort of 3 or 4 inches. That's my hole spacing. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16 formers apart. Okay, so it's 16 times 36 inches, whatever that is. That's how many apart that is. So like I say, if I move along, if I do these portholes and I get to here and it doesn't line up, then I'm out. All right. So, and as I say, don't drill anything until you're ready to go. So now we can carry those lines up and we just mark lines on our plastic where we're going to do our portholes. Okay. Now for the height, I noticed that you used a laser. Don't use a laser. This isn't straight. It's curved. All right. That's why you're having problems. So like I say, use a caliper. Don't even turn it on. You're not interested in measurements. You're not interested in technology. Just get your caliper, line it up with the portholes that you've got there. Okay. Make sure you get your center line. Lock it, and then just scratch it along, and it will make a line on the plastic that you can see, that you can draw to. Okay. So obviously my holes are already there. I don't have another hull I can use to show you, so I use this piece of plastic strip. So what I'm going to do is come along here now and I'm going to scratch a line into this plastic. And I'm going to scratch a line in here deeper than you would on your model, because Obviously this is just a piece of scrap plastic, but because it's white I need to go a bit deeper so I can see it. So what I'm going to do is imagine I've got my first line there. Alright, so I'll just put some marks on here. It's got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Alright, so I'm going to carry those lines down. So now I've got a scribed line going across here, and I've got my vertical lines in there, which are the lines where my portholes are going to go. So don't use a drill. Get yourself one of these, a sharp point, a needle in a pin vise or something. It needs to be sharp, so sharp that it will draw blood. Okay, it needs to be sharp. Don't use anything blunt. And then come along, find your line that you've got, come along to there, and just push down. Okay, do the same there. And all you're doing is using this to do the marking. Now I would advise you do this all the way along before you start doing any drilling, and then if anything's wrong, if things don't start to become misaligned or whatever, then you can correct it rather than having to plug drilled holes. Ask me how I know. So if I can catch that in the light now, you should be able to see on there. Here you go. You can see that I've got indentations in the plastic. Alright, so now I'm going to start with something like a 0.8 drill here. Now I'm not going to, well, yes I will. I'll start drilling over the hull and then move it away. So I've got my 0.8 drill, that'll pick up easily that little divot. And then I can drill through, okay. And then again on that one, I can drill through. Okay, so we've got that, and now we've got holes parallel to that edge. Even if that was curved, we would have the holes parallel to that edge, which is what we've got here. Okay, so now they're nice and straight. In fact, I'll go along and do the others as well. Alright, now I'm not going to go straight for the size. These holes are like 1.7, so I've got a 1.4 drill here, I think it is. So I'm going to go along there and just gently drill through. Secret with drilling plastic, don't push, let the drill do the cutting. If you push it through, you'll end up sort of corkscrewing it, if you know what I mean. And I tend not to use power tools either because they tend to wander. Okay, I've got a feeling that end one might be slightly off. So now I've got that 1.4. Now the size of these is 1.75, I believe. Don't take my word for it. Okay, so that's those run through there, and then we could come along with a larger drill, or what I like to use is this here, which is a 3mm burr. Okay, and then we can just literally, just like that, just turn it on the front and it will deburr, just take off the plastic off the edge. Now on the back, I don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to back chamfer them or whatever to thin them out, but what I'm going to do here is just use this tool just to remove the sharp edges from the plastic. So as you can see now, we've got our portholes. They're all perfectly spaced. Whoops, I don't want to pull that off, do I? They're all perfectly spaced and they will line up. Where are we? There we go. As you can see, they all line up on there, except for that one which is slightly off, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay, so they're on there like that, and if we look along them, you'll see we've got a nice straight line. Okay, and it's as simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's not that difficult. But the main thing is, start off with a 0.8 drill. You don't want to be using this. Okay, this is a great tool for drilling portholes in the plastic model. This is designed for picking up in the little indentations you get, and then being able to drill through with a 1mm drill to get you the centre, and then you can come along after with bigger drills. The whole point of this is to find the centre of that plastic indentation. There is no point whatsoever in using them for this. Now you're going to come to marking your holes, because what you're saying, Peter, is you're putting that in there and it's all moving around. Well, it's going to, because this isn't fixed down. And if you put blue tack on it, you're spacing it away, and then you've got a problem. Then if your drill is slightly off, your hole's going to move over or whatever. You can imagine if you're drilling that hole through there, say, Let's find a bigger drill. Here we go. If you're drilling this hole through here, imagine we're drilling a hole in the bottom of the hole now, and I've got that spaced away like with a lump of blue tack. If I draw that hole through there, where are we? Here. Okay, if I'm dead square and vertical, then I'm absolutely fine, but if my drill's slightly out, look what happens. So that will happen in any direction. Okay, if I'm holding this drill like that, perfectly vertical, that's fine. But if I go slightly out, you can see that the end of the drill is moving in the opposite direction. So you don't want to be spacing that away either. So hopefully you've got that now. So get your position of these on the hull, get it fitted. Draw some vertical lines through the centre of the existing portholes so you know where your stations are. Get your chart out that shows you where all the portholes are and what size they are and everything. Divide them by 200. Mark them out. Okay, if you find the portholes don't line up with your lines, you've done something wrong. Put the drills away, put all the scribers away, put everything. All you want now is pencil. Okay, mark them out so you've got your positions on there. Once you know you're happy, come along with your caliper gauge, measure up the height, scribe a line along. Okay, and then with your sharp point, come along, mark all the positions, and then drill them all out with a small drill. Have a double check, make sure everything's good. Have a look along, make sure everything's right. And if you do find that you've got, one hole is slightly up, when you come to drill the next hole, go back in with your small drill. Like if I wanted to move this hole up, okay, say I've drilled a hole here. All right, and I've done one next to it and it's slightly low. And this one here is up. Okay, so say this line here is what I'm looking for, and this one here is slightly low. What I can do is come in with my drill, and I can almost use it like a file, and I can kind of elongate that hole to pull it up into where I want it. Okay, so you can see now I've pulled that up. Now I want to come along with my next size up. Okay, I'll draw these two on centre, just like so. Okay. There we are, there on centre. Now this one here, I'm going to tip the drill that way so that it actually picks up. And there we go, my three holes are pretty much in line now. Now again, we've got a slight amount of a movement on there, so I'm just going to use my drill as a file, just pull that hole over slightly. And then when I come along with my finished size drill, I can drill them all on centre. And you will see, give them a little deburr. Just like so, and you can see now they're pretty much lined up. Okay, it's slightly out, but I obviously wasn't doing that very carefully. But you can see that you can actually get that way better than it was. All right, so hopefully that's got you where you want to be. Unfortunately, the wavy line is just going to be down to skill and persistence, really. If you do get a wavy line, just drill it out a bit bigger. Okay, if this hole here was too low, I will drill that out, say 2mm, put a piece of 2mm plastic rod in there, let it go off, and then drill through. Don't try and put a 1.7, like if the hole is 1.75, don't try and put a 1.75 piece of plastic rod in there and then remark it and drill it 1.75, because the drill will just follow the old hole. Okay, so drill it out too big and then put a piece of plastic rod in there, let that go off, and then drill the hole again. There's nowhere where I've done that you can see. There is on the other side, but that's what I do if I want to make sure my my holes end up in the right place. Okay, so that's hopefully you got that now. I won't be making another video on this subject, I'm afraid, so thanks for watching. Bye for now.